Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to today's knitting podcast, where I am going to be talking all about my knitting plans for this autumn slash early winter. I'm so excited for the autumn. It's my favourite season, and especially now that I've taught myself how to knit, I'm even more excited because it means that I get to wear some of the gorgeous cozy knitwear and jumpers that I've made so far this year and make some more. So in this video I'm going to tell you about some of the patterns I've purchased and some yarns that I am thinking that I will use to go with them. I have some examples here, which is exciting, and I would love to know down below if any of you guys are thinking about knitting these patterns too. If so, maybe we could do a bit of a knit along on Instagram or something like that, or on this channel. Yeah, I'm really keen on finding a knitting community. I do feel like these are kind of popular patterns, but I hope this gives you some inspiration on what you could make this autumn too. Before we get into my plans, let's talk about what I'm wearing. So this is my Audrey top by Petite Knit. I knit it up in the Sadness Garn Lena, which is an 100% linen in the shade, I want to say, Acorn. I will leave my Ravelry down below with all of my project details on, and I will leave a link to the yarn as well. This was such a fun knit. I'm so happy with how it came out. If you want to hear more about it, I will leave my second knitting podcast in the description box below. But yeah, I'm just so happy with these details, the decreases. I did my first Icelandic bind off. I did my first I-cord straps, which I just think look so professional. I'm gonna get so much wear out of this top. Kind of sad that I've knit it so late in the summer, because it means that I can't get too much wear out of it. Ignore my pajama bottoms that I'm wearing with it. It sits kind of on my hips. I love it very much. I love the colour. I think it's a very nice neutral that goes well with my skin tone, and I'll be able to get a lot of wear out of. So I am going to kick off with a jumper that I purchased the pattern of back in February. Bearing in mind I only taught myself how to knit in January, I've wanted to make this jumper ever since then, and it is the Eun Sweater by November Knits. I just think this is such a beautiful classic jumper. It looks so cozy. I love some of the details on this jumper, like the long split hem down the ribbing. I love the look of the raglan increases, and also kind of how boxy and oversized it looks. I just think this will be such a staple in a wardrobe. For this jumper I have purchased my yarn. I'm going to be using Knitting for Olives Heavy Merino in the shade Thundercloud, which is this really beautiful kind of mild grey chunky merino wool. For another project, this might be interesting as a comparison, I actually have the normal Knitting for Olive Merino in the same colour Thundercloud, so I thought it would be interesting to show you the difference between the heavy merino, which is this one, and the normal merino, which is this one. There you go, there's the difference. So it is quite a difference in shape and size and chunkiness. The heavier one is almost like double the size, and also, even though it's the same colour, the colours look slightly different. The heavy merino has slightly more kind of a mild fleecy look, whereas the normal merino doesn't. I'll tell you what I'm making with this one shortly as well. And I'm going to hold it with the Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the shade Midnight, which is a really beautiful dark, almost like midnight black navy, which looks like this. So super fluffy, just a nice kind of navy halo. And the reason that I am teaming the Thundercloud with the Midnight shade is because I couldn't choose between whether I wanted a grey cardigan or a navy blue cardigan, and I just thought this was a great way to kind of combine the two. Knitting for Olive's website is amazing because it has the colour matcher, so you just put in the merino, the base that you want, and it shows what kind of mohairs you can add with it that will kind of go. I do think a lot of them, like, I would love to get very experimental with kind of matching up colours like this in the future, but for now I played it safe, and I have my gauge swatch for this jumper, which looks like this. So this is what the finished jumper will look like, and I am so happy with it. So it is a nice dark mild grey, but with that kind of dark navy blue fuzz. This swatch is already blocked as well, so I can kind of see what it will feel like and how it will look. It has grown a little bit, but yeah, I'm loving these little pops of navy that I'm getting in certain places. So I'm so excited now that I've like gauged and printed my instructions out. I'm so excited to potentially cast this on in the not so distant future. What do you guys think of the colour combination that I've chosen? Yeah, I was really unsure whether to go for a navy, a grey or like a creamy beige, but I am happy with this because I haven't got anything like this in my wardrobe. Has anyone else made the Eun sweater? I am a little bit scared by the instructions. They seem very complicated, but I'm going to take it nice and easy, and it will be one that I imagine will be on my needles for a little while whilst I kind of take my time to understand. Okay, so the next fall pattern I'm going to make is the basic cable vest. This is by A Honey Knits. This will be my third A Honey Knits design that I've made, and I chose this because it is knit together with 2 strands of Drops brushed alpaca silk, and having made a jumper out of this already, I know just how cozy and snug and warm it is, so I thought it'd be a perfect kind of transitional weather piece of clothing. Also, one of the reasons I am choosing this pattern is because I've never done cabling before, and I thought the perfect way to ease myself into cabling would be to knit up a sleeveless jumper, so I'm not having to like do cabling on the sleeves. So I have got a cable jumper, a proper one, in this coming up in this video, but to teach myself and to get easy and comfortable with that, I just thought this basic cable vest would be a great intro, and also kind of autumnal, leaning into that more kind of chilly weather. So for this, the pattern calls for the Drops brushed alpaca silk to be held double. I have 2 balls left of this one that I used to make my mohair off shoulder jumper. Yeah, I had 2 balls. I think this only took three balls. I had 2 balls left, so, and this is in the shade, I want to say white, off-white. So I bought 2 more balls of Drops brushed alpaca silk, but in a different colour, and I thought I could hold them double to make a kind of more unique and different version. So this one is the shade 35, which I think is like a grey shade. So yeah, 1 strand of the grey and 1 strand of the white make a really pretty kind of soft and fluffy mohairy white grey cable knit sweater vest. I'm really excited to cast this on. I do hope I have enough of the base yarn. If not, I guess I can always buy another ball. But yeah, I'm really excited to work that out. Let me know if you've made this pattern before and how you found it. Okay, so another pattern, and this is the one that I am going to be using the Knitting for Olive Merino in the shade Thundercloud for. This is not particularly a winter item, but I am so excited to cast this on. It is the Thinn Skirt by Wool & Beyond. I have absolutely fallen in love with this skirt. I just think it's so beautiful, so classy. I think I'll get so much more out of it. It's got a nice high split. It's like a mini skirt with a nice high split down the side, and I'm using the same shade that the designer used in the pattern, which is Thundercloud, which is a really nice dark grey. I love the idea that I'll be able to team my Eun sweater with my Thinn skirt for like a double look. Might look cool, might look a bit weird. We'll try them when it comes to me having them both in my possession. But yeah, I love this grey colour. I think it's so beautiful, and this skirt is the first pattern by Wool & Beyond that I'll have done. It includes an elasticated waist with like a hemmed down elastic waistband, and then there are a lot of German short rows to shape the back, and then increases to shape the skirt. The instructions of this do scare me a little bit. They are kind of long and intimidating, but I really hope that I will be able to master it, because I just think all year round this skirt will be such a nice basic. And I love the idea of being able to make a skirt as well as tops, like to branch out from just like top wear, if that makes sense. I've got like literally my Knitting for Olive bag is so huge with all the quantities for those patterns, the jumper, the skirt, and also the mixed rib cami that I've just cast on. I've done like 2 rows so far in the Knitting for Olive Merino in the shade navy blue, which is such a striking colour. I've dropped all my stitches. I knew that would happen. I'm so clumsy. Oh my god, I'm so glad this is a nice yarn to work with, because that would have been a nightmare to try and sort out had it had it been a different yarn. But yeah, this isn't like a particularly autumn-y knit, but it's one that I think the colour is so perfect for that time of year. A dark navy autumn. Obsessed with this shade. I think it will look so nice on my skin tone, and just like a nice top that I think it will be really easy to dress up for the kind of winter party season. Okay, some patterns now that I don't have the yarn for, but I might be purchasing this week. So I really want to make the Joo Sweater. This is also by November Knits. This is also one that I purchased in February when I first started learning how to knit. I've definitely got a bit of a thing for flared sleeves, and this just fits my requirements. It looks like the most perfect staple jumper, but with this beautiful flared sleeve detailing. I think I'm going to knit this up in a cream. I think that would be such a nice classic jumper that will be able to be styled in so many different ways. The recommended yarn is Isaga, I don't know how to say that brand name, Isaga Yarn Tivini or Sadness Garn Sunday, held together with a mohair. So I am thinking of purchasing the Sadness Garn Sunday and some tin silk mohair to make this jumper, yeah, in like a beigey cream white shade. I will keep you updated in my monthly knitting podcasts to show you what I choose to make that up in the end. But yeah, I'm so excited to make that jumper. It's an oversized sweater inspired by the hanbok, a traditional Korean clothing. It's knitted from the top down with raglan increases, and short rows are worked to shape the neck and the neckline. And then the sleeves and the jumper are knit with a folded edge, which I've done before and I really enjoyed doing, so I'm looking forward to trying that again. The champagne cardigan is a pattern that has been on my radar and on my wish list for so long. I've purchased the pattern, but I haven't purchased the yarn yet. I just imagined this to be the most cozy wearable cardigan that you could wear all year round, like throw on in the summer over a little dress, but also layer up in the winter to be nice and cozy. I really want to make it very similar to the sample pattern that Petite Knit made, so a nice cream with maybe some dark buttons. The pattern calls for Double Sunday by Sadness Garn, held together with tin silk mohair, also by Sadness Garn. I think I am probably going to either stick to that and those colourways, or use a Knitting for Olive heavy merino and team it with maybe a tin silk mohair from Sadness Garn for the mohair, because yeah, it really depends on what I can get my hands on when it comes to shopping. I would really like to shop for these yarns in person, just because I have had such a problem in the past with colour matching online. But the champagne cardigan is one that I'm so excited for. I think it's going to teach me loads of new techniques that I haven't done before. I've never done a button band, I've never done double knitting before, so the pattern does scare me. Like, it's a big old pattern, it has the German short rows, it has the raglan, yeah, it's got a placket. I've never done a placket. The instructions are so long, they're like 10 pages long, but it's one that I am committed to being like a long-term project, but one that I am like absolutely desperate to make because I want this in my wardrobe so badly. That would be like the perfect cardigan, by the way, if anyone is thinking of knitting that, if they did want to knit it along together. I just feel like having someone else that is doing it at the same time, that you can kind of help each other out and lean on each other for advice, and if you ever get stuck, I just think a pattern like that is so intense would be a really great one to buddy up with, if anyone was thinking of making the champagne cardigan at any point soon. The Louisiana Sweater by Petite Knit is one that I've had on my list for so long now. I really love the idea of knitting up a boucle sweater. I am currently knitting a boucle sweater, which is sweater number 1 by My Favourite Things Knitwear, which looks like this. This is going to be like a long sleeve jumper, but I love customising the Louisiana sweater to be kind of short sleeved and cropped. So I'm not sure what yarn I'm going to use there. She recommends Borstit Alpaca by Sadness Garn or Boucle by Isaga Yarn. I need to do a little bit more research and see what I think will work well. I would really love to make Blouse No. 1 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. This is again a very classic top that so many knitters have made. I just think it's so beautiful. She's come out with a light version. I love kind of the rolled boat neck neckline. I think that's so flattering, and I love the look of the more flared sleeves as well. I have got this yarn penciled in mind for this. This is a alpaca superfine variegated yarn that I picked up from a brand called Rico Design. I just think this will look so nice in the Blouse No.1 light version. Just a really cozy, soft. I'm really running through them now because I don't want this video to be too long. And another pattern that I really would like to cast on this autumn because I think it looks so super cozy and warm, but I am having trouble locating the correct yarn to use for this, so if anyone can help me, that'd be great. I would really like to knit the Koi top by Morka Knit. I have never seen a pattern like this online. It looks so lovely, and the pattern gives you a couple of different options of how to knit this. So it's like a short sleeved crop top, and it is reversible in terms of you can wear it the front of the back or the back of the front depending on what style you make. One of the styles has like a really low back. I'll just put it here, a really low back, but there is also an option to do it with a little open, like more of a cardigan with a little diamante tie in the middle. The yarn used for this is called the Per Fortuna by Lana Grossa, and I don't know if you can see the texture of this top in the pictures, but I think it really would benefit for a yarn as fluffy and soft and kind of teddy bear like as that yarn, and I haven't really been able to find one that is similar to that I can get in the UK. I can buy this yarn on Amazon, but the postage is so expensive. I also can buy it on Etsy, but again the postage is like 30 quid, so that would really hike the price of this project up a lot. But I love this top. I just think the scoop neck is so flattering. Sorry, my cat wants to go out. See ya, Maurice. Imagine knitting this up in either like a nice cream shade or a dark navy blue shade. That would be suitable for more kind of party vibes. What do you guys think? The instructions are very long and it says it's an intermediate pattern, but I feel like I'd be able to do it. The long sleeve cable jumper that I really want to make this year is from the Sadness Garn DIY booklet magazine. This is 2210 and the pattern is called the Bonnie Sweater. I have absolutely fallen in love with this pattern. It looks like the most perfect oversized chunky basic cable sweater that will be so wearable in the winter, layered up. I am really also in love with the colour that they've used in this, so I'm thinking maybe either a cream or a similar light blue shade, maybe a more muted light blue shade. I am really looking forward to making this because I've never done cabling, like I said, and it doesn't look too difficult. So this pattern calls for double Sunday held together with tin silk mohair. Here's a closer look of the jumper. It looks like it's not a raglan, it looks like it may be seamed. It includes German short rows, it includes increases. It's worked from the neck down. Start with the back and work into the underarms, then work increases and German short rows for the shoulders. It looks like quite an intense pattern, and also the thing that scares me about this is the chart. Can you see that? So this is the chart that I will have to follow to make this jumper. I've never followed a chart like that before and it freaks me out. So I'm hoping that by doing a basic cable vest I will teach myself the basics, and then this will be kind of easy to follow after that. I don't know. I really hope I get around to making this jumper at some point because I really love the style of it, and it seems like a great one to kind of learn how to read a chart properly and increase my knitting knowledge and skills and end up with a beautiful jumper at the end of it. It also has a cardigan pattern in there. I really like the patterns in this book, they're so lovely. And then one more project that I'm hoping to do to make this autumn, but it's a crochet project. It's some yarn here already. I really want to make another one of my trendy handbags. Pattern is by Gulk. I absolutely love this. I get so much wear out of it, and so I would like to recreate this in a different colour. So the different colour I got was this. It's also a different yarn. It's the Friends Ribbon Gold by Hobby in a gold and black shade, which I just think is so fun. I'm like a magpie when it comes to anything shimmery and sparkly. I just fall in love with it. So I bought, I think, like 4 of these to make this bag. Again, for this bag I used hooked spaghetti, 1 strand. For this one I'm going to have to use 2 strands of this Friends ribbon. By the way, I bought this from the hobby website and it took about 3 weeks to arrive. I think they're based in Denmark, I want to say, somewhere in Europe. So it took a really long time to arrive, but now that it's here I'm so excited to knit this up. I'm also thinking of adjusting this to make it maybe the straps a bit smaller and the bag a bit wider, like a bit more kind of short and out. But we will see when it comes to casting on what I'm feeling. I just think this calls for more of like a party evening bag, so it won't need to be quite so big as this. And then I've also bought a couple more shades of this. I thought I could do like a bit of a mishmashed like tie-dye bag. Because this bag is held double, I thought you could also have some fun with playing around with colours. So I bought enough yarn to also make the bag again, but in a bit of a different colourway. So I bought a really random selection of neutrals, and I also bought this gold one, which is like a cream with a shimmer. It isn't quite so shimmery as the other one, but you can see a little bit of shimmer in there. So yeah, I bought these. I thought this might be either a nice Christmas present for someone or another extra handbag for myself. So yeah, I really bulked up on these cottons to make some bags because I wanted to get free shipping. Oh my god, I literally don't know, I literally bought so many different colours, but I think they all go quite well. So we'll see what I make with this in the end. Also this winter I'd love to make some more hats. I'm undecided on the type of hats though, and the type of yarn, so I will keep you updated with any hats that I end up making as the months go along. But I would love to know what you're planning on knitting this autumn, and I love you guys lots.